Today, I'm going to talk to you about the power of your thoughts. Hey guys, it's Abby and welcome back to another video. So today I want to really focus on the power of your thoughts. Now in another video I've talked about how we think between 60 to 70,000 thoughts every single day and how a lot of those thoughts actually stem from your subconscious. If you want to go check that out, go ahead. I'll put a link in there so you can catch up on that. And we're not going to get into the specifics of that, but I do want to focus and shed a little bit more light on the power of what is actually happening when you're thinking these thoughts. Think about it in a little bit different view. So I actually wanted to talk to you about this really fascinating research by, and bear with me, I'm probably going to really mispronounce this name, but I'll do my best. Masaru Emoto, let's just go with that. Dr. Emoto, who started doing his work in the mid-90s, and basically what he did is he took water and he would have a thought and basically an intention, and he started doing these experiments in different capacities, basically using thoughts and intentions. He would focus on a word and then he would flash freeze it and put it under a microscope and look at the structure of the thought. So he got up to, basically in my research, found like 1,900 people focusing this thought and putting this intention into this body of water. It is really fascinating on some of the different things that he did. And I'll show you pictures here, he basically did the intention with thank you, and this is the actual thought formation with the intention of thank you. Also compassion, and look how beautiful these geometric shapes are. Also people that are really have a positive, loving vibe. Mother Teresa, right? And he also, I think this is really interesting, he did it with music. So this is actually water after listening to music, specifically Bach. And by contrast, he also did negative, right? So you make me feel sick, right? That thought, that intention, propelling out. This is what it looks like after it's propelled out and then it's actually frozen and put under a microscope. You fool, okay? This is what it looks like under a microscope after that intention. Also Hitler, obviously a lot of negative and painful energy in that, and this is what it looks like. And just look at these formations of the water and how just vastly different they are than the more structured and whole water that you saw earlier. And also heavy metal. So this is what heavy metal looks like. It looks like chaos, really, compared to the other music experiment, which was Bach, right? Very structured, very beautiful looking. And you know that when you listen to the music, you get an experience. For me personally, I'm not a big fan of heavy metal. It makes me feel very chaotic, very disrupted inside, and really what the picture looks like. So another really interesting part as I was doing my research for this video is, I didn't know this. I'd heard about Dr. Emoto's work, and I've always really found it curious and really interesting because it spans so long. He started in the mid-90s and I believe he died in 2014, so just recently, and really just continued to get more curious and more curious and more curious and get into this because he really saw that water was the blueprint for ourselves, and the intentions and thought we put out that actually showed a lot more about what was going on inside us. So one part that I heard is they did a pinprick in their subject. So they did a blood analysis, right? They looked at the blood under the microscope and they showed the results. You know, it was a little bit chaotic. It wasn't really together. Then the person actually drank a structured water. I don't remember specifically, maybe it was thank you, love, joy, something like that. They drink the water, and basically 20 minutes later they test the blood again, and they were finding that there was a significant reaction in the person's blood from what they only 20 minutes ago had discovered, which I think is absolutely just incredible, right? And Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about how thoughts actually are sending electrical impulses out. The heart actually is a magnetic force. but it's just really fascinating on, you know, unfortunately, Dr. Emoto had a lot of criticism and a lot of people saying, oh, you're not doing it right, that's not real. Now, I think it's really curious because there's another experiment that he did that's, I feel, famous, which is the rice experiment. So he put rice in 3 different containers. So one of the containers, he had a very positive, right? I love you. I believe in another experiment was thank you. The middle one was I hate you, and then the other one was just to ignore it, right? So in several different variations of this experiment, the I love you one, and some of them they said that it fermented and actually smelled good. There was no negative about that. And I believe it was also in water too. It wasn't just dry rice, obviously. So they put the rice in water and then put it there. The I hate you one a lot of times had blackened, molded, you know, it was rotting. And then also the ignored one had a very negative reaction compared to the positive intention one. Now, I started to see on the internet that a lot of elementary schools and like younger age children classrooms would do this, and they would actually be able to replicate the findings of Dr. Emoto. There were other people who are on the internet saying, oh, I've debunked it. This is, you know, just a bunch of crap. This isn't true at all. But what I want to go back to is intention. If you say a word with no intention, and in my opinion, intention is a very specific desire with the action behind it. You have to feel that word. You can't just say hope, you know, oh, joy, compassion, right? That has no intention behind it. That literally is an empty word, no intention. He didn't say just aimlessly say words. There was a true concentration to feel that word, to send out that impulse, that electricity into the water, essentially to structure it this specific way. What I find interesting is there's people saying, oh, it's totally fraudulent, you know, he was just like a pseudoscience kind of a thing, but then yet other people are able to replicate this experiment, right? People who believe in it and actually put the intention out there and who are willing and brave enough to take a chance. Like, what if this works? What if that is part of this reality that we live in? Who's to say what does and doesn't work? Basically, if you believe, I think Henry Ford said it, right? If you believe you can or you can't, you're right. You can stay limited in what you think is reality and what you think is just bogus and stay in your very confined little world. That is absolutely that's your opinion, that's your right in this world. But what I really want to invite you to do, and why I made this video, is to present this information of what if this is how it does work? I strongly believe in these things. I think intention and thoughts are absolutely one of the most powerful and important things that we bypass every single day. We're not even aware of what we're thinking, sometimes how negative, how addicted we are to perpetuating these feelings inside, which keep us living the same day over and over, which just perpetuates our past. We already know where we've been. And if you really desire to go somewhere different in the future, starting to really question what you think and really starting to put intention in the world, which is, do you really want to feel these things? Do you really want to take a chance on yourself in a different life, experiencing the world differently than you have the first, however old you are, whatever your experience is up until now? I really invite you to do more research on Google Images to see some of these different formations and how beautiful, like that's what I find incredible. And this really goes along with cymatics. That's why for me it's not a far reach. If anyone knows, I'll probably in the future do a video on cymatics. I think it's absolutely incredible, and I think this strongly correlates to Dr. Emoto's work, where based on the different frequencies, a lot of times what they do is they put a piece of metal over a speaker and they'll put sand on it, and then it's also connected to a frequency, I'm not sure the specific name of it, but it puts out different frequencies. So as this machine is changing to different frequencies, the sand continues to change geometric shapes. Google cymatics with a C. I'll put it up here so you can see how to spell it. But that is one of the most incredible things. The higher the frequency, the more pure it is, the more beautiful and intricate these geometric shapes are. It's absolutely incredible that simply by the sound, it's influencing the sand so much. And that's why I do believe in Dr. Emoto's work, and I do believe strongly in the power of thought and intent. You know, also what I find interesting is in Dr. Emoto's work, prayer. whether it be Christian, whether it be Buddhist, whatever it is, again, that intent where it's coming from the emotion, you know, that is the power of this. And I believe the power that you can have in your life. And the two most powerful words that they found, it wasn't just one, it was actually the combination of the two. And it's not really surprising, but it's actually love and gratitude. And I know that when each of us are in that state and we're really feeling love and we're feeling gratitude, and specifically when we can combine those, it's like nothing can go wrong, right? Like no matter what's happened in your life, no matter what's happening, and no matter what happens in the future, really embodying those and having those alive and vibrating inside of you, there's nothing else like it. So I really invite you to explore more into this and really start questioning what intention and what thoughts are you having throughout your day. If you just continue to go along with what they do on their own, you'll get what you've had in the past. And if you really want different experiences, I really strongly encourage you to start asking yourself, what intentions do you want to have? What intentions are you committed to making, right? So if you found any value and you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up below. If you enjoyed this content, you can subscribe, and I will continue to put out more videos, and I will see you in the future. Thank you for watching.